Thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Bicos, to do the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. And actually tonight, Bob is going to handle it. But this evening, we do have the policy presentation. This evening's presentation, and I'm pulling up the PowerPoint now, hopefully, is regarding one item.
Can we put the
As soon
agenda?
as I get it, yep, is okay.
No, I meant in the chat so people can download it.
Yes, coming shortly.
Thank you.
As you can see this evening, we have one item on our agenda, and that's public comment at board meeting. And just give me 1 second. I do want to put the link to this in the chat. I do have it for the presentation. The link is in the chat to the actual presentation itself. Let me know if anyone has problems accessing that, and we will take care of that momentarily. And so Mr. Kaufman is going to lead us through this as the business administrator and board secretary. The only thing I will say is that this item basically came to us, as most people know. We typically get updates from PSBA, and so this came to us as a result of an update from the PSBA. And so, Bob, if you want to take it from here, that's totally fine.
Sure. So on the next slide, policy 903, comment in board meetings. So to summarize, I won't read the whole slide, but it basically opens up to more members of the public to comment, specifically employees. Well, that's the recommendation from PASBA, but it also is a little limiting in that it requires everyone to sign up beforehand. So that's kind of the major differences between the two, our current policy and what the best practice suggestion was from PASBA. So Dr. Bicos, if you want to open the link that shows the actual edits.
Can everyone see that?
Yes, I
Okay.
see it.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, it shows employees and students. I don't remember if students was included in the previous policy. And would leave the presiding officer to expand the public comments to whoever is running the board meeting that night, whether it be the president, vice president, or designee, which hasn't happened very often, but if it were. Also puts more clear guidelines onto when they can be interrupted and their public comment may be stopped. And then here is where it would require all guests or all speakers that wanted to request a public comment. They would have to sign up in advance prior to the meeting. So unlike the current practice where they only have to sign up if they would like an additional 3 minutes on top of the 3 minutes that we allot for a specific topic, this would require everyone to sign up and would limit to 3 minutes in total for each meeting. Other than that, I think it's just language updates that doesn't really veer too much from our current policy.
And Bob, I just wanted to clarify one thing. Would this be 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes? I'm just asking because here in this paragraph, it talks about 3 minutes. And I thought I heard you say 3.5. I could be mistaken.
No, I believe it's just 3 minutes.
It is 3. Okay.
I was mistaken.
No problem.
Yes. So yeah, our current policy allows a 3 minute sign up period and a 3 minute just open, period. So with this change in policy, it would make it so that you have to sign up and you're limited to only the 3-minute sign up period.
And I'm just scrolling through so that everyone can see. Ms. Hoff, I do see your hand. 1 second. I just wanted to keep scrolling. I see we have some attendees. I just want to make sure everybody can see what's here. Okay. So Ms. Hopkins, I'm gonna recognize Ms. Hoff, if that's okay. I see that her hand is raised.
That is fine, yes.
Okay, Ms. Hoff,
Thank you, Dr. Biggs. I am not a fan of everyone must sign up before the meeting to speak. I think it's incredibly limiting, and absolutely unnecessary. Our citizens have, been great about responsible communication, and there is absolutely no reason to make every single person sign up before the meeting, in my opinion.
I just came off a stop share for a second. Just wanted to see if there were any hands raised or anyone else had comments on the board.
I have a question. I know at one time back with some of our meetings, we had a time clock, and that was 2 minutes then. So now we're at 3 minutes. So is that something that we would want to look at as to having a time clock? Because it's great that, as the citizens come in and express their opinions that they want to know, but sometimes it's more than 3 minutes. And so is the time clock something that we would want to go back and revisit, or what?
So when there is a large crowd in attendance at the meeting, I actually do have the time clock up and keep track. And then, so if needed, I do have that time at all times. We just haven't had to use it because it hasn't been too much time with too many people, if that makes sense. But I could definitely enforce it if that's our wishes.
And one more thing, we're saying that the public speaks, but they are the taxpayers and residents. So if you're a taxpayer, you can speak at the meetings also, aside from being a resident?
Yes, that's always been the case.
Yeah, so the change that you'll see is it used to say an opportunity for district residents and taxpayers. So the and is crossed off between residents and taxpayers, and then employees and students is added on in addition to taxpayers and residents in the way this recommendation from PASPA is.
And Ms. Llewell, I just highlighted it right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And I believe there's one other item that we had in reference to this.
Dr. Plum has her hand raised, Dr.
Oh,
Beaker.
I'm sorry. I couldn't see that with the share
That's
on.
not a
Yes.
problem at all.
Can we let Ms. Plum in? Is that okay, Ms. Ms. Hopkins? Okay. Ms. Plum? Oh, hold on. Okay. Hi, Ms. Plum.
Hi, how are you?
Finding yourself.
Good, good. Couple questions. So how will residents or taxpayers sign up? Is there going to be some mechanism that they will do that
Yeah,
if this were to go through?
So if this policy were to be changed to the way it is written, then me and my office would develop a mechanism to have the public sign up for comment.
Okay.
And we would use that to proceed in public comments at the board meeting.
Okay. And will there be a time frame in which you have to have had your comments submitted to be able to be accepted at a meeting?
I think if that is the direction we should go, we would probably need to add a time limit, like
Okay.
an up to point for
Yeah.
in the policy itself. I don't believe it's in there currently, but
Okay.
if that's the direction that we decide or the board decides to keep, I think that would be a wise addition.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
so to Dr. Plum's point, if I may, our requirement is that we put the agenda up 24 hours ahead. So it would have to be like up to an hour before the meeting. You have to give people a little time to respond. Ms. Joy, how do you feel about this? If I'm allowed to ask.
I have no opinion, Ms. Off. Dr. Because we can continue.
Okay, hold on one second. There's one other item I believe that was provided in reference to this policy, and then this is, oops, sorry about that, guys. This is just a procedure review. And this is really speaking to request to comment at board meetings, which Mr. Kaufman did highlight earlier. I just wanted to make sure that we did cover all of the items that were included in the presentation. And this is a sample, I believe, form that was provided by PSBA. I believe those are all of the items that we have for this evening. Ms. Hopkins, you know, I would, if you don't mind, I'm just giving my opinion about this particular policy from an administrative viewpoint.
Absolutely.
I know that the administration doesn't develop policy, but I do agree with this particular policy with Ms. Hoff. I think, you know, when I think about the 4 years that I've been here, I do believe that we have been able to create a positive, for the most part, relationship with our community when people come to our meetings. And typically we do not have concerns or issues. And I believe there has been effective communication between the board members, the administration, and our public at our board committee meetings, well, at our board meetings and or at the committee of the whole meeting. So that's all I just wanted to share so that the board would, you know, just consider how we move forward. Because I don't believe, and Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is a policy that we have to change. I believe these are recommendations from PSBA.
Correct. That is just their opinion of best practice. I don't believe there's anything legally requiring us to do any of that change, at least. I think the other stuff is just to cover yourself in case you do interrupt or stop somebody from speaking.
Thank you. Ms. Hoff, is your hand back up?
Yep, it is.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. B. Coates. So if we don't, what are the next steps for this policy if we don't want to change it? I mean, is this showing up in April and May? What, and if it is, and we decide not to put that requirement of signing up in, how, like, so is that why this policy is being presented as with that's the major change? Or like what's the next steps for this policy?
I think the next steps is that the policy committee would indicate, yes, let's move it forward as it is, and or have us go back, make some modifications, and then present this again at the next policy committee meeting, which would be in May, along with any other items that we have on the policy committee agenda. So we would just await some further direction from the policy committee on how we proceed. But to me, that's the next step based upon what comes out tonight.
There are 2 questions in the, I can't get it.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
One question is this, I'll read it, is this for comments on agenda items only or non-agenda items as well? And Bob, if you could give some direction on that one, that would be great.
Sure. I wanted to say that it was only on agenda items, so I was trying to read through it again real quick to make sure that was accurate. I do not see a reference to non-agenda items.
And I agree, I'm just scanning it as well. I agree with you. And then the next question is, what is the purpose of the change in how questions are accepted at a meeting? Is this supposed to be more equitable or ensure questions are vetted prior to being presented?
And my response to the second one would be, I believe the idea is so that the board could be best prepared to answer the questions ahead of time if possible. I don't think it's to kind of limit anybody and potentially stop anybody from speaking, but I think it's more for an information side to come prepared to the meeting.
Okay, I don't see any other hands up or any other questions.
I don't see any either. Thank you.
Okay. So Ms. Hopkins, how did you want to proceed with this particular item?
So I know we got to present it again at the second board meeting, and since we don't have all of our members here at the meeting, I want to make sure that everyone has read it for the first time and make sure that we vet with the committee. We did get Ms. Hoff's opinion on this. It is a policy that's coming down from PSBA, and like all policies that we get from PSBA, we have to, put that on the agenda. So it'll be on again for the agenda for our next meeting so that we can, propose a recommendation.
So Ms. Hopkins, it's moving forward with that terminology in it or not?
We are going to bring it to the rest of our board, and we will propose a recommendation from there.
And you want us to do that in May of 2024? I just want to make sure I'm clear, or are we bringing it?
Okay, right, yep, May.
Okay. And then what we will do is in between that time, we will make sure that I know that we did send this out, but we will remind board members that this is an item that is coming back to the policy committee in May. And that
That's
we
correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
and that we'll want feedback and input on this.
Absolutely.
Okay. We do not have anything else on the agenda for this evening. Ms. Hopkins.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And again, everyone, thank you so much for joining our April meeting of the policy committee. And I wish you all well and see you next month.
Thank you very much. Take care.